Richard the Lionheart goes on a crusade. In 1095, Pope Urban II held a great meeting in the French town of Clermont to call on every king, knight and commoner in Europe to go and fight in the Holy Land and the Mediterranean. And the greatest of all the kings who answered the call was Richard I of England, otherwise known as Richard the Lionheart. Richard the Lionheart was strong in spirit and body, a warrior and a gentleman. On hearing of the Pope's crusade, he went home at once to raise a great army of knights, men-at-arms and archers. He packed a bag with sunscreen, shades, and his armour, mounted his horse, and rode through Europe at the head of his great army, meeting up with other Crusader armies in Italy, from where they all embarked for the Holy Land together. After a long sea voyage, Richard and the Crusaders made landfall at Antioch in modern-day Turkey, where they disembarked, fell to their knees, and kissed the sand. After they had knelt there, kissing the sand for a while, Richard rose to his feet. "Who's in charge, then?" he said. "Thought you were in charge," said a French duke named Godfrey de Bouillon. "Fine, I'm here to fight," said Richard, puffing his chest out. "Me too," said Godfrey, clapping his hand to the hilt of his great sword. "Who are we fighting again?" "Bugger," said Richard. "I left before the Pope got on to that bit. Does anybody know who we're fighting?" There was a resounding silence, as thousands of knights shifted nervously and scratched their helmets. It seemed that no one had been paying attention at the Pope's meeting. "Well," said an archer, "shall we go and get a drink while we try to remember?" "It's very hot out here," said Godfrey. "I could use a pint, and there's a bar over there." "To the bar!" roared Richard the Lionheart. Trumpets were sounded. A great cheer went up, and the Crusader army advanced up the beach to an outdoor bar named Sultan Dreams. They swarmed in, singing raucous songs and laughing at things on the menu that sounded like English swear words. They stayed there all afternoon, and were entertained in the evening by an enterprising local who read out pirated copies of the latest chivalric ballads from back home. After the bar closed, though, the Crusaders wanted more fun, and they took to the streets of Antioch. There they stumbled across a tour rep who offered them a 30-groat all-you-can-drink bar crawl up and down the main strip. Many shots were drunk, and the Crusaders, who were suffering the effects of the Mediterranean sun, began to get rowdy. At Hatton's English pub, a fistfight erupted, and when the Byzantine Emperor John Comnenus tried to intervene, he was glassed by a longbowman from Slough. Comnenus staggered outside to declare war on his Crusader allies, only to find that his horse had been stolen and ridden into the sea. On the main strip, Crusaders had begun drunkenly racing up and down the road on rented ponies, and two groups of knights from London began stabbing each other after Sir Walter of E7 disrespected Sir Ranulph of SW9. Meanwhile, a nobleman named Stephen of Blois tumbled off a nightclub balcony, fracturing his collarbone and losing several teeth. As chaos erupted up and down the strip, Richard the Lionheart and Godfrey were arguing with two nightclub bouncers who were refusing their party entry to the city's premier venue, Palms nightclub, on account of the Crusaders having removed their armour from the waist up. An almighty row soon kicked off, and several knights took advantage of the distraction to sneak into the nightclub through the fire escape and open the doors, allowing Richard's personal bodyguard to lead an assault on the bar. Local clubbers fled the building as a raucous sound of flaming tequila shots started a fire that engulfed the bar and quickly spread to the neighbouring buildings. Suddenly, the local police arrived on the scene, panicking and angry, with truncheons held aloft. "That's who we're supposed to be fighting," roared Richard the Lionheart, and he swung a great punch with his mailed fist that knocked a policeman flat as more Crusaders and more police piled in. By the time the sun came up, the ancient city of Antioch had been pillaged and burned to the ground. Thousands of locals and Crusaders lay dead, and the remnants of the Crusader army were sobering up in the local police station. To a man, the Crusaders were sunburned, hung-over, and very dejected. All except one, that is. "That was brilliant," croaked Richard the Lionheart. "Shall we come again next year?" "You will not come again," yelled the police sergeant. "You are all deported and banned." "Let's go to Falariki instead," said Godfrey de Bouillon. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers and patrons. See you next week. Bye bye.